I'm sorry.
Botanical Gardens? Where are you from, Mr. Green? Botanical News? Yes, the lecture is this afternoon at 3. Yes, sir. Dr. Landecker is speaking on the care and feeding of indoor plants. Yes, sir. Yes. 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 Yes?
Yes. Is Dr. Landecker in?
Oh, that is lovely.
Oh, thank you.
May I?
Oh, please.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Could I see Dr. Landecker?
It's a bad time. Worst time of the day for him.
Oh, is he in conference?
He's watering his plants.
Oh.
Why don't you come back in an hour?
An hour?
Takes him that long to recover.
Well, you see, I have to get back to my job and,
I'm sorry.
well...
Wait a minute. If you must.
Thank you.
Your name?
Cy, Walden.
They're lovely.
Thank you.
Dr. Landecker. Mr. Walden.
Mr. Who?
Walden, sir.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Oh. Oh. It's alive.
No, sir.
It's alive. Look around you. Believe me, I know what's not alive. That is alive.
No, sir, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
What's not alive about it?
Well, sir, nothing is alive about it. You see, I made it.
Come on.
No, it's true. You see, it has a key on it. You have to wind it up every 12 hours.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh, I don't think so, sir.
Nobody winds a flower up.
Well, nobody's ever made a flower before.
Well, of course that is true. Why did you do it?
Well, it just came to me. The idea, that is. You see, I'm an inventor.
Oh, what have you invented?
I've invented a flower.
Oh. There's nothing different about it?
Well, I think there is, sir.
What's different about it?
It didn't grow.
I understand that, but now that you've made it, what is different about it?
You wind it up.
God made flowers you don't have to wind up.
Well, that's true, sir, but then I'm not God.
Well, that certainly is true.
You see, I had hoped that you might buy it from me.
Why?
Well, to exhibit it.
We don't buy them. We grow our own.
Yes, sir. Not too successfully, I noticed, if you'll pardon my saying so.
Good day, sir.
But Dr. Landecker...
When you can grow flowers with keys in them, you come back and see me. I could be interested.
Yes, sir. I'll work on it, sir.
God is the loving ground of our being, the creator of all that exists. Because we're made in his image and likeness, we also are capable of creating. Not in the way he does, but create we can nonetheless. Our creative abilities come from God, and they are sustained by him. In a very real sense, God continues to create in us and through us. But he does so not in our way, practically, predictably, according to plan, but rather in his way, freely, spontaneously, playfully, in ways that are full of surprises. What we create may have great practical value. It may be what society thinks it needs, or it may not have practical value. Practicality is not the highest of artistic values, nor of human ones. Only one thing is certain. The creative spirit breathes where he will, and he's not about to be programmed.
A flower? You invented a flower?
Yes.
Who needs such a thing?
Apparently nobody.
Some inventor. I thought I was marrying a watchmaker.
You did marry a watchmaker.
A watchmaker is a practical thing.
I'm practically always a watchmaker. I sit at my bench 8 hours a day.
Yes, you sit at your bench 8 hours a day, but you don't work, you dream, and you can't pay the bills with dreams.
I hate watchmaking. I hate making little machines that help people keep track of time. People shouldn't be trapped by little machines. It's confining to the spirit.
Well, the spirit needs confining. The first of the month rolls around just like clockwork, you know.
Stella...
Cy, stop trying to invent.
Now, I don't try. I actually do.
A flower! What a waste of time!
It only took a week. It took God millions of years.
Oh! Oh, so now you're better than God.
Oh, Stella, don't be crazy.
Well, he made the original, remember. You only copied.
Well, it's the best copy anyone's ever made.
Nobody needs copies.
If nobody needed copies, Xerox would be out of business.
There's no talking to you. I could have turned it out with my hand.
I saved you the trouble.
It is very little trouble to turn out the light with your hand. It is such a little trouble that to save the trouble isn't worth the trouble.
The snap switch is a great invention.
Well, nobody bought it. I have made my point. You have come up with yet another invention the world is not ready for. Cy, I love you, but I have to tell you, you invent useless things.
Stella.
Cy, you have a little spare time right now. Why don't you do something useful?
Like what?
Like go to sleep.
Hey, Cy, it's lunchtime. Why don't you take a break?
I can't, Walter. I have to get this mainspring in. My wife says I have to be practical.
Practical. Everybody's practical. You ought not to have to be practical. You got greatness in you.
Thanks, Walter. You know, you're a good friend.
You're a great inventor, Cy. You're really great.
Yeah, but I don't sell, Walter. Nobody buys any of my inventions. If that's a criteria for being a great inventor, I just don't make it.
The snap switch is a great invention. And a wind-up flower. That's terrific.
Yeah, terrific. I take them in and people look at me like I was crazy.
People, what do they know?
Even my wife thinks I'm crazy, Walter.
One day they'll see. One day they'll all see. You got a unique mind. You ought to be working for some big company that just turn you loose, you know? Hey, that's right. You ought to be working for somebody like IBM or Xerox or some big giant. You ought to bring them your hat tipper. That's a terrific idea.
Bring Xerox the hat tipper?
Yeah. Hey, Si. You want to be an inventor? Be an inventor.
It's a radio, Mr. Walden.
A radio.
It's an old radio, Mr. Walden.
What would Bourne and Company do with an old radio?
Remember our slogan,
A new idea is born every minute.
And the radio is not a new idea.
especially an old radio.
An old radio is an old idea.
Yes, but Mr. Bourne, gentlemen, if you'll just let me demonstrate.
I'm a busy man.
He's a busy man.
The man is busy.
And now for our next number, a golden oldie, Stan Kenton's Painted Rhythm.
Excuse me, could you play Melancholy Baby?
I'm sorry, we don't have Melancholy Baby scheduled. We're going to play... What did you say?
I said, could you play Melancholy Baby?
Hey, who's kidding around? Joe?
Holy smokes!
So, that's clever.
Clever.
It is clever.
We can't buy it, of course, but it's clever.
Clever.
I'd love to have one for my kid.
Why can't you buy it?
It's against the law.
FBI.
FCC.
CIA.
Clever, though.
Damn clever.
How would you like to work for Bourne and Company?
Well, as a matter of fact, my wife...
New idea.
Born every minute.
Give you your own place to work.
All we ask is that you come up with something practical.
Pay you a salary and a small royalty on each new invention.
Each new invention we use.
Got to be something we can sell, though.
Got to be practical. Otherwise, you've got free reign.
Well, gentlemen, I'd like to work for your company very much, but...
Good. Love having you. You know, Mr. Walden, you have an interesting mind.
We buy minds.
Buy mines.
There's
well,
nothing as new as a new idea.
Well, can I use the facilities of Bourne and Company on my own time?
9:30 to 12:30 is our time. 1:30 to 5:30 is our time. 12:30 to 1:30 is your time. If it's your time, I don't mind.
Your mind is your mind on your own time.
On your time, your mind is your mind. We don't mind.
Do you mind?
1 hour a day for my mind, huh?
Uh-huh.
You're right, Mr. Bourne. I'm not worth the office space I'm taking up.
What is that thing?
Oh, just something left over from lunchtime. No, Mr. Bourne. It wasn't Mr. Seltzer and Mr. Smedley who made the mistake of hiring me. It was you. It's me.
Oh, shut up! 10 o'clock. Walter.
Hi, Mrs. Walden. Can I talk to you a minute? It's about Cy.
Well, come in.
Thank you.
Did something happen?
Oh, well, he's at my place.
At your place?
Yes, ma'am.
At the gas station? What is he doing at a gas station at 10 o'clock at night?
Sit down, Mrs. Walden. Please.
Well, Walter?
Well, he quit his job.
He quit his job?
He couldn't go it, Mrs. Walden. He just couldn't go it.
What couldn't he go?
They put the old collar on him, you know? I mean, they tried to make him think practical. The approach was all wrong. I mean, he tried like hell. But you can't say to a genius, come up with something practical. His mind just don't work that way. From 9:30 in the morning to 12:30, he thinks and nothing. And he takes an hour off for lunch and bam!
What bam?
Well, the collar's off. The horse is off and running.
What horse?
Running like a rocket. And in the afternoon, on goes the old collar and nothing. It's been going on like this for a month and a half, Mrs. Walden. On their time, nothing. On his time, wham, bam!
So, wham, bam, he's out.
Oh, don't you see? He's blue sky. He's out there flying by the seat of his pants. He lets his mind go free. He don't worry about what it's thinking. He lets it think. He lets it create. Hey, he's made some terrific inventions.
But nobody buys his terrific inventions.
Oh, Mrs. Walden. Hey, his kind of mind can't be confined by what buys or what sells. His kind of mind, you can't say, make me this or make me that. It don't work that way. This man you don't put in a race with all the other runners. This man runs his own race. So maybe he ends up in New Jersey. But you shouldn't ought to discourage him. You know, he's afraid of you, Mrs. Walden. He's afraid of his own wife. He hadn't invented a way of telling you.
So he got you to come and tell me.
Oh, no. He don't even know I'm here. This was my idea.
All right, send him home, Walter.
Yeah, sure thing. Oh, hey. You're okay, Mrs. Walden.
Sure. Hey, Walter? Think we could get him to invent a new way to pay the bills?
Hey, Mrs. Walden, don't worry. He's blue sky. This is great. What was that you put on the potatoes?
Oh, it's, new invention.
Oh, yeah?
Well, if that's the kind of food you get in bread lines, I'm never going to work.
Do that again. Hey.
You like that, huh?
Hey, that's wonderful.
Oh, it's nothing. A little invention I dreamed up.
Honey, that's terrific. Do it again.
Okay.
How do we sell this?
Oh, no. I don't think you can sell a kiss.
Well, why not? They kiss in the movies. We could sell it to the movies.
Well, I don't think it looks any different.
Well, let's see. Okay, let's try it.
Stella.
Come on. Okay, now, give me a kiss. Looks the same.
I told you it wouldn't look any different.
But it sure does feel different. Oh, sigh. Leave it to you. The first time you come up with something really different, it has no practical use at all.
Well, I happen to think that it has a very practical use. You like it, don't you? Can't you just enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it? Do you have to sell it to enjoy it?
Honey, you don't understand. You invented a hat tipper, a wind-up flower, a radio you can talk back to, and a musical armchair. Honey, nobody needs them. You just make yourself a big joke. But now you have invented a kiss. A whole new kiss. Not just the same old kiss that everybody's been kissing, but a new kiss, a new thrill. The world should know about this.
To hell with the world.
You live in the world, Si.
Yes, and as long as I do what the world expects me to do and think what the world expects me to do, I can live in it. And if I don't rock the boat, everything will go smoothly, right? Oh, honey. Don't you see, everybody talks about a different drummer. But the world isn't ready for a different drummer. They never are. Da Vinci invented a flying machine hundreds of years ago. But the world wasn't buying flying machines then. But does that make him any less of an invention? Does that make him any less wonderful?
Da Vinci was Da Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci was Da Vinci because he wasn't afraid to think. And I don't want to be afraid to think. I don't want you to let me be. Honey, I was afraid to come home tonight.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah? Well, you should be. Stella, let's not worry about what the world thinks. Let's just make the world us. Let's just keep the kiss between us, huh? And the mind reader.
The what?
The mind reader.
What mind reader? That's a mind reader.
I came up with it in a month of lunchtimes.
A mind reader.
A mind reader? That's impossible. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, he's just putting me on. No, I'm not. Dead serious. But if that were true, it would be worth $1 million. Oh, it is, at least.
$1 million? $1 million would mean you could invent anything you wanted to, and we'd never have to struggle again. $1 million means freedom.
No. Do not equate money with freedom. All the money in the world isn't freedom. Freedom is the right of a man to make choices about what he will think and what he won't think. Honey, that's why I quit my job. Don't you think I'd like to do a good job? But I couldn't just see going into Mr. Bourne and saying, "Hey, boss, here's the end of all privacy." That unimaginative boob would have taken it, and in a year everybody'd have one. How long do you think we'd all last? I happen to think the mind is a valuable thing. Always so impractical. Yes, maybe I am. But never laugh at a mind, even an impractical one. Because the mind is an amazing mechanism. Oh, sometimes they go haywire. Sometimes they go pedantic. Sometimes they think boring, everyday, pedestrian thoughts. And a lot of times they think about money and how to get rich. But sometimes they go blue sky. And then you better watch out, world. Because you just may have a kiss on your hands. Sure. Oh, I know what you're thinking. But I'm right.
Insight is a production of the Paulist Fathers, a group of Catholic priests who seek to share the good news of God's love with all their brothers and sisters in the human family.